Hey everybody, happy Saturday. How's everybody doing? So, I was having some thoughts today about pain and suffering, um, kind of like our human condition right now, you know? I mean, we have, of course, an amazing amount of joy, but we still have you know, the suffering that goes on, and that is really like um, our experience in as being a human, we kind of have to go through um, suffering at some point in our lives. Um, but I wanted to offer just a slightly different take on it, and maybe it might help um, some of us who are going through this. So, I consider myself a positive person, and um, I do make an effort every day to try to find the joy in whatever I'm doing. Um, and I do have a lot of favorite things, you know. Oh, that was my favorite thing. So I do try to do that, but I kind of want to talk about feeling emotions because I feel like sometimes when we see happy people and they're happy all the time, especially online when they're making videos, they're happy all the time. But that doesn't mean somebody like me is happy all the time. Um, I feel like my vibe is up all the time. I feel like my frequency is high all the time, but that doesn't mean I don't feel emotions and that I don't suffer and that I don't have pain. So I think that's really important to kind of go through because I know when I started kind of like reading and paying attention to gurus and things like that, I was always like, why are they so happy all the time? And I am so anxious and depressed all the time. And it's really not that simple. Um, and a lot of people, and I've even posted this, like happiness is a choice. It's not that simple, right? So I don't want you guys who are out there suffering right now feeling like, well, if it's as easy as a choice, why can't I just make the choice, right? It's really not that easy. It is a choice. We are choosing our reality and we are choosing what we put our energy into and what we don't put our energy into. But it's not as easy as flipping a switch, at least not for me, and saying, well, I'm just going to be happy. I'm not going to be sad anymore and I'm not going to feel those emotions. Um, I feel a lot of emotion. I am probably the most emotional person out there. I'm right at the top. I am on a roller coaster ride, and everybody who's in my inner circle and knows me knows that I am on this roller coaster ride all the time of emotion because of the work that I do, and really just because of who I am, because I feel everything so deeply. And I kind of put my attention in a lot of different places. And so I'm feeling a lot of joy and I'm feeling a lot of elevation, but I also feel all of the lows. Um, but the difference is, I think that I bring awareness to um, the emotions that I'm feeling, and I really try to explain, like to myself, and try to remind myself of why I'm feeling those things and that it's okay to feel those things. I think where we get stuck is when we're feeling things and we don't really know where it's coming from and we don't really know how to feel better from it. One of the most important things I think about emotion, especially negative emotion, sadness, depression, anxiety, anger, fear, um, is that you have to give it space. You have to allow yourself to feel it. And I think if we're able to do that, we can move through it. I've posted that before about the only way to the other side of pain is through it. You can't go above it or below it or around pain. You have to go right through the pain to get to the other side. You have to experience it. You have to find out what's going on with it. You have to give it space. You have to, just feel it and work your way through it. So you can do that with a positive vibe. You can do that with a higher frequency. But we still have to do it. So I come on here and I'm talking about deep breathing and meditation and feeling good and finding the joy and dancing in the rain. But I also spend a lot of time working through my anger and my fear and my depression and my anxiety, right? Um, Let me just there's an example of this that it's been running through my head because I do watch a lot of like chiropractic videos. They relax me, the ASMR, and I do go to a chiropractor. And so one of the things that the chiropractor will do, or at least mine does, and my friends who are massage therapists will do this. So you'll notice I think everything's okay, and then all of a sudden he'll touch a spot on my back, and it causes excruciating pain in my back. And I didn't even realize that was there, or maybe I did, but it hurts so bad because he's just applying pressure there, like with a finger, just pushing, right? And he'll push and push and push and push. Um, and it'll hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt, right? And then it'll release. Like it just like fades away, goes away. So at least with muscle pain, that's a good example of, and if he didn't do that, the pain would still kind of be there. Like it's never going to go away because you didn't put any attention on it. You didn't address it. It doesn't go away. You might be able to ignore it for a while or have other things that keep you busy, but it doesn't really go away. So here's the thing with negative emotions, pain and sadness and depression and anxiety and fear and anger, is that if we can do things to distract ourselves from it, which I absolutely do, because once I realize that it's, if I've decided that it's not an emotion that needs, I can distract myself from it, but it never really goes away if it's like a core emotion that's like in your soul. Sometimes with these things, what you have to do is you have to put pressure there. You have to put your attention there. You have to put your awareness right where it hurts, and you have to feel that pain for a while, and it gets a little harder, it gets a little more painful as you're feeling it. And as you're feeling it, you want to ask yourself, where is this coming from? What is really hurting? If I took, the following things out of the picture, would it get better? If I added the following things into the picture, would it get better? What is this really, is this triggering other emotions in me about things that happened in the past or things I'm worried about in the future? Like, bring your attention to this pain that you're having, this emotional pain that you're having, and try to figure out where it's coming from, and allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel it fully. And usually when you can do that and you can talk it out with a friend or you can journal it, you can move through it. And then, it feels better on the other end. So that's really the difference. I think in my life, I have always been a depressed and anxious person. I cry every day. I'm an over worrier, so I carry that with me, and it's always there. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and I said, I'm really anxious today. And it's not that it's some days I'm anxious and some days I'm not. It's always there. And I have this kind of sadness that I carry with me all the time, and that is always there. And the good days are the days that I can work through it a little bit, or I can distract myself from it, or I can tap into different frequencies that I have within me. Like I can tap into meditating and yogaing and breathing and talking with a friend and shooting my bow and put my bare feet in the grass, and I can do other things that let me kind of resonate on a different level for that day. And then I know that it, the pain that I'm feeling is there, but I'm not feeling it as deeply that day. So, and I'm talking in circles, but my take home is that, like for me personally, I always have those hard emotions with me. I always have that pain with me and that struggle with me. And it is a choice to not let it take over your life, I guess is the point. You feel it and it's there when it's a really deep emotion, when it's something that happened or a loss or a real something that's major. Then I have to go through it and I have to feel it and I have to give it space. I have to create sacred space for it to start to heal. but also there are things that that are just patterns. Like I think 95% of my anxiety that I carry is a pattern. It's just something that I do that I've never been able to like change the pattern 100%. So then I'm working on changing the pattern of how I react to things. So if I'm having anxiety, I stop and I say, why are you anxious today? Why are you having those feelings today? What is making you feel that way today? And what can you do? If you find out, well, it's just a pattern, it's just how I always feel before I do such and such, or before I'm worried about trying a new thing or whatever, and it's a pattern, then I say to myself, this is your pattern, and you don't need to do this. This is not for your highest good, this anxiety that you're carrying. So let's try to do a few things to help calm you and remind you that you're bigger. It's more powerful than this. You're bigger than this, and you can get through this. And so it's complicated. It's a lot of work to be mostly happy most of the days. So to me it is anyway. And I guess my whole point is, I don't want people out there who are struggling with pain, emotional, spiritual, mental pain, and then to see people that appear happy and think, I'm not happy then because I don't look like that, or I don't act like that, or I can't deep breathe in my car like gave me joy, so I guess I'm not happy. That's not it. Like, we are all struggling with it. We are all fighting with it every day, and we just have good days and bad days. And I know that I will make a video on a better day so that I'm always going to look like I'm enjoying and having a good day. And on a day where I'm really struggling with it, I'm not posting videos, So again, and that's kind of like real life. I think I missed my point 1,000%. But the point is, pain is something that can be alchemized into something else, but it has to have attention brought to it, and love poured into it, and a space for healing created for it. And when you do that, you can get through it and come out on the other side and feel better, because the point is to feel all of these things, but also have days that we feel better, that we feel good, and that we're enjoying our life, because this is the playground. This realm is the playground, right? This is where we get to experience everything. We get to touch and taste and smell and see and feel. This is our playground. So with all of the beautiful things that we get to experience, also is all of this shadow stuff and this dark stuff that we also have to experience. But we can decide how much energy we need to put into it. Some things can just be pushed aside. Other things we need to dive into and put healing into and put love into, so that we can move through. I hope that helps. I'm really only doing these videos so that I can talk things out, because it helps me. Right? Anyway, I hope everyone is having a beautiful day, enjoying this beautiful weather, and I love you.